game called Swordcoast. Now, this game has got me all, I got my tinglies going because it's from the developers of one of my favorite games. I'm going to go out and say this. My favorite game from the Xbox 360. Yeah, I'm going to put it over Skyrim. Was DragonAge Origins. Awesome game. Tons to explore, great story. Open enough that you could really feel like you were put in the role of the hero, but just fun, plenty of loot to get, upgrading, everything was just great. I just loved the game. I played it through twice back-to-back, which it's a really, really long game. It's like a 40-hour game. So if I play it back-to-back, that's saying something. So they have left BioWare since, and now they are teaming up with the Wizards of the Coast. And if you know who they are, those are the guys who created the D&D games, the original DICE games. Those are also the publishers for a lot of the books out there. If you want a really good fantasy novel series, go ahead and pick up the Legend of Drizzt series. Awesome, written by R.A. Salvatore. And so you get some really good things there. You get the story there. And what this game is going to be, it's going to be kind of a dungeon crawler like you'd expect. They're saying they're coming out with a really in-depth and very detailed single-player mode. But what I'm really excited about, and I think you'll join me with this on this one, is they're coming out with a multiplayer mode called Dungeon Master mode, I believe is what they want to call it, where you have up to 4 players running through a dungeon that is created and controlled by one dungeon master.
So kind of they're taking the whole like D&D or tabletop game experience to a multiplayer, hopefully I'm guessing online experience on a console.
Yeah, and I think this is an awesome idea. It's going to give you plenty of, we've already seen so many of these things, like when Little Big Planet came out and they had the level creator, where everybody could create their own level, and there was thousands of levels to do. And it's what people do with Skyrim, and they mod things and they add things. It's just saying, here's your game, and then now we're going to let you expand upon it yourselves. And you're going to get some horrible dungeons, but you're going to get those awesome dungeons too. And who wouldn't have fun being like, okay, these 4 guys are running through, let me drop an extra hard monster on them just for fun.
Well, I'd say too, like there's the other aspect. Like in other games, you can create a level and get that experience, right? In a tabletop game, which sounds like what they're trying to go for, when you have a dungeon master, they create things as you go along to an extent. They decide certain things or influence things as it's going, rather than just, oh, here's what I made ahead of time. So that kind of changes the dynamic, makes it a little bit more interesting. I could see a lot of people that are really into the tabletop stuff already getting into it, and people that weren't into it before, they didn't want to sit around with some pen and paper or whatever, saying like, hey, let me try this out now. Now this is going to be some fun thing.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not one of those tabletop guys. I do like some board games from time to time. Never really saw myself as getting into a D&D game. Now, I haven't really had the group of friends that would want to do that, so I don't know. Maybe if I did, I would.
Yeah, interestingly, I had the group of friends that would want to do that and did do that. I just never actually played, but I know enough about it from them playing. So.
But I could see this being an awesome way to reach out and say, okay, well, you have Xbox, you have PlayStation. It's actually coming out on PC. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said those. But now you can reach out to millions of people that would want to be part of that, and you can bring them together a lot easier than everybody crowding around in a basement somewhere. So yeah, I just love the idea of this game.
Yeah, and one of the things that I used to think from listening to my friends that were really into it, depending on how they play those kind of games, it'll sound a lot like a video game, right? And that was one of the reasons why I never really got into it, because the way that they used to play, I was like, this is so restricted. This sounds like you're playing a video game. Why wouldn't I just go play a video game? But if it is a video game, then all right, now it all makes sense. Okay,
just playing a video game, guys. So there you go. They've done it, and like I said, you're getting the right group of people to do this. You get the people who started the whole D&D. I mean, you can thank them for almost all RPGs we play nowadays, and then you get some of the people who made, like I said, my favorite game on the Xbox 360. So I'm just giddy about this. Can't wait for this to come out. But let us know what you think. Are you excited for Swordcoast to come out? Do you just not care? Hit us up, comments down below. Of course, at What's My Face on Twitter. Google Plus and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us.